Tottenham have the chance to capitalise on a huge opportunity and beat Arsenal in the North London derby on Wednesday. The Gunners are injury-ridden as well. They are hurting. They've just been knocked out of the FA Cup. They've also gone 2-0 down in the semi-final of their Carabao Cup first leg. And we have the chance to end their Premier League title run for good. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I hope you enjoyed your weekend. A quick note on the Tamworth game. It was incredibly frustrating. I got really angry watching that game against Tamworth because I just thought we were so sort of poor and lackadaisical in the final third. We didn't have any sharpness or any extra creativity about us that you'd expect to have against an opposition that are so many leagues below us. Ultimately, I don't want to come across too negative in terms of my reaction to it. We got the job done. Credit to Tamworth. I thought they were excellent. They put their heart and souls on the line, their bodies on the line, absolutely everything. They gave everything they had. Next round, fourth round of the FA Cup, away to Villa. So, you know, it's a massive jump from away to National League Tamworth to away at Villa Park. But we move on. We come to that next month. I want to focus in this video on Arsenal. I want to talk about the North London derby, one of the best and most exciting occasions for fans in the season, unless you are a fan of Tottenham or Arsenal. And then it is just a bucket of nerves, an absolute wreck leading up to the game. But for some reason, I feel optimistic about this one. I feel like despite our injuries, despite the players that we have missing, we have a serious chance of being able to go to the Emirates and win this game. It feels very strange that this match is on a Wednesday night, midweek evening game. It doesn't feel right for the North London derby. The first one they put on a Saturday 12. Was it a Saturday 12:30? Or they've done that in previous seasons, or it's the early slot on a Sunday. They never want that prime time Sunday 4 o'clock slot for these games now. I just think there's too many crowd troubles, too much tension in and around the stadium and around North London, such is the rivalry between these two teams. So this time, unfortunately, we have to watch it in the middle of the week. It can work in our favour, it can work against us. Obviously, if we win, then it gets forgotten about very quickly because you have another game in 3 or 4 days' time after that at the weekend, which is, yeah, a bit frustrating, but it is what it is. I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling hopeful. I don't know about the rest of you. Let me know how you're feeling ahead of this game. I just don't think Arsenal are the same team. I really don't. I think they're really out of form at the moment. They are struggling. The games they are winning, I don't think they're winning all too convincingly. Fans of Arsenal are starting to turn on Mikel Arteta. They're starting to sit there and think they're not sure if he's the guy to lead them to the titles, to the silverware. Knocked out of the FA Cup, as I mentioned. Looks like they're going out of the Carabao Cup, and they potentially sit 9 points behind Liverpool in the Premier League if Liverpool win their game in hand. So if Tottenham win this game, if Tottenham win at the Emirates and Liverpool win their game, they then have the opportunity to go 12 points clear at the top of the table. We should not be scared. These Tottenham players should not be scared. We've had a thing at the Emirates for so many years where we turn up and we just don't perform. And I think for the first time in a long time last season, we saw our players play at the Emirates without any fear. We drew there last season. James Maddison, Heung-min Son, I think, were the goal scorers in that game. If you remember, it was a really good performance. And you could actually say we were unlucky not to win the game. I think we were unlucky not to win the game. And I think this game is going to have a very similar feel. Both teams are desperate to win. Tottenham's league form, absolutely awful. If we lose, we could end up 14th, 15th in the Premier League table, which is unheard of still. It's so weird. It's so weird to think that we could be in that position. And Arsenal, they cannot afford to lose. If they want to win, if they want to have any hope of still winning that title, they cannot lose. They have to win. So they're going to be up for it. Our boys are going to have to be up for it. Both teams went to extra time in the FA Cup at the weekend. Arsenal's obviously was a significantly tougher game. Manchester United taking them all the way to penalties and beating them. They haven't won in their last 3 games. They drew to Brighton in the Premier League last time out. Then they lost 2-0 to Newcastle. And then, of course, as I've just mentioned, that Manchester United loss as well. Odegaard has not been the same player for them since coming back from injury. They are, of course, missing their best player in Bukayo Saka, and he will still be unavailable for this North London derby. To make things even worse for them, Gabriel Jesus went off with what looks like a bad knee injury. Tottenham have got players coming back. Richarlison was always aiming to be back for this North London derby. Mikey Moore was back and started against Tamworth. A few others slowly starting to arrive. There's talks that Mickey van der Ven and Romero are nearly there. They are getting there. It's going to be another couple of weeks at most, hopefully, for them to be back. Vicario is back in training, although Antonin Kinski has done a fantastic job keeping 2 clean sheets in his first 2 appearances for the club. So things are starting to look up for Tottenham. Things are starting to look a lot more positive, but we have to be realistic about our record at the Emirates. At the Emirates, Tottenham have won 2 of their 32 Premier League games there. But of course, there's been a lovely cup win or 2 in there as well. A few draws along the way. I'm thinking of the Dele Alli goal. I think it's 5 or 6 years ago now in the Carabao Cup semi-final, I think it was, or quarter-final. I'm thinking back to the Kabul last flicked header goal. I think that was the last time we beat them at the Emirates in the league. So we're going back a long, long way. And I'm telling you now, it is time to pick up another win at that stadium. It is time for us to finally put this fear of going to the top 6 clubs' stadiums to the side. Whenever we go to Stamford Bridge, whenever we go to the Emirates, whenever we go to Anfield, we always crap the bed, but no more. It's time to just absolutely go for it. What do we have to lose? On paper, one of our toughest games of the season. So what do we have to lose? Go there, go for it. And if we play to our best, we are more than capable of winning the game. More than capable of winning the game. Absolutely. We've just won back-to-back games for the first time in, I think, 2 months or so. It's been so many win-loss, 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 or losses in a row. I know they were 2 cup games against Liverpool, though. We will take so much confidence from that Liverpool game, handing them their first away defeat in the entire campaign so far. And then you beat Tamworth. Yes, you should beat Tamworth, but it took grit, it took determination. The players will still feel confident about that. We got through to the next round. We avoided the upset. And if we can win this game, it is highly likely we can now go on a run after this. The fixtures after this Arsenal game start to get a bit kinder, start to get a bit easier, but then we've got the likes of Leicester and teams around that sort of area of the table. The Europa League coming back with some really important but winnable games, and then at the start of February, that Carabao Cup second leg and that FA Cup 4th round match. So this is the team I would go for when we head to the Emirates. I would go with Kinski in goal, left back Jed Spence, centre back Archie Gray, Radu Dragusin and Pedro Porro. I don't think you can change the back 4 too much, although Pedro Porro, I won't say too much, but his performance against Tamworth. So that is the back 4 that I'm going to go for. In midfield, Bentancur remains out with the concussion protocol as far as I'm aware, so it looks like Basuma will be straight back into the side after having a really good game, I thought, against Tamworth. So Basuma in that holding midfield area. I would play Lucas Bergvall and James Maddison. I would play Lucas Bergvall in that slightly deeper role that he had to be moved to against Liverpool, and then Maddison ahead. Maddison had an excellent game against Arsenal at the Emirates last season, and I want him to replicate that. So for that reason, I'm starting him. I actually thought he was one of our brighter players against Tamworth as well. Deserves another start. Lucas Bergvall was good when he came on. Excellent against Liverpool, so I'd play that midfield. Heung-min Son out on the left, who came off the bench and made an impact. Dejan Kulusevski on the right, and then Dominic Solanke up front. That is a team that I would go for. I think it's the strongest we have available at the moment. We may have Richarlison to come off the bench, Mikey Moore to come off the bench, Yang to come off the bench. So we're starting, Pape Sarr to come off the bench. So we're starting to get a little bit stronger. Like I said, I feel confident about this game. I'm going to go for a 2-1 win. I think we're going to score a late winner under the lights at the Emirates and pick up, I think, our first win there in 10, 11, 12 years in the Premier League. That is what I am going for. So let me know down in the comments, how do you think this game is going to go? What are your score predictions? Who would you like to see line up against Arsenal? And do you think we can finally turn this poor league form around at the home of our biggest rivals? Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like the video if you've enjoyed and subscribe to the channel. I saw a stat, it's absolutely crazy. I'm pretty sure something like 97% of people that watch these videos are not subscribed to the channel. So please subscribe to the channel. It helps me out massively. I will be back with a reaction video on Wednesday, and if there's any breaking transfer news in the meantime, in between that, I will be on it straight away. So keep an eye out for that as well. Enjoy your week. Let's hope Tottenham can serve us up a Wednesday night surprise and a bit of delight to just absolutely turn our season around, as I said. So yeah, I will see you then. As always, come on, you Spurs.